May I have a roll call?
Trustee Gutter,
Present.
trustee Vegas,
Here.
trustee Lee,
Here.
president Walker.
Here. I must lament the presence of student trustees who had their last meeting yesterday. We're very proud of them. We have nothing to report out of closed session. I've been doing this for a few months now, and I'm still a little bit disturbed by how many people there are here. So I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous.
Excited.
But I'm glad
Excited.
you're all here. No, I'm nervous.
I know. Usually it's just Monica sitting out there.
There's an agenda for tonight's meeting. Are there any changes to the agenda?
There are no changes.
Great.
Move to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Trustee Lee.
Second.
All those in favor of approving the agenda?
Aye.
Aye. Recognitions and commendations. We're here to honor the Terra Nova girls soccer recognition. Ms. Basuino will lead us.
Terra Nova in the house. Terra Nova grads. So tonight is my pleasure to recognize and congratulate the Terra Nova varsity girls soccer team on an extraordinary season. The Tigers captured the Ocean PAL Division Championship and completed an undefeated season in an incredible accomplishment that reflects their talent, determination, teamwork, and resilience. This achievement is the result of countless hours of preparation, commitment on and off the field, and a strong leadership provided by their coaches and support staff. Throughout the season, these student athletes represented Terra Nova High School and Jefferson Union High School District with pride, sportsmanship, and excellence. Please join me in congratulating the Terra Nova varsity girls soccer team for their championship season and undefeated record. We are proud of all that you have accomplished and look forward to celebrating your continued success. This is Coach Downing. He's going to say some names.
Thank you, Board. First off, I want to congratulate the girls, but I'm just going to mention the girls who aren't here, who had some commitments either academically or through other sports. First was number 1, Bryn Matthews. Number 5, our goalie, Whitney O'Reilly. Number 8, Charlotte Witt. Number 9, Ava Anino. Number 12, JoJo Pancoast. Number 15, Lucia Hansen. 17, Lainey Wilson. 21, Aubrey Hawkins. And 22, Claire Moore. Yeah, she already mentioned that we went undefeated this season. We also qualified for the CCS. We won the first game in the CCS and then lost to Watsonville 1-0 in the semifinals, who went on to win the CCS and qualify for the state, and they won a couple games in the state. So it was a really close game. Really proud of the girls of their accomplishment. Like it was mentioned, we were 14-5 and 1 overall. League, we went 9-0. In the league, we scored 34 goals and only allowed 2. So it was a really good season. So I'll mention the girls who are here. First up is Nina Alexia. Next is Natalia Moody. Next, McKenna Shee. Aaliyah MacArthur. One of our captains, Ella Templin. Our leading scorer on the team this year, Daniela Gutierrez. Sorry, I thought I had them in order. She was injured this year, but can't wait for her to come back next year, is Milana Rosales. Morgan Matthews. Another one of our captains, Geneva Chan. And the last player here, also a captain, Lily Farmer. Thank you, board, for recognizing our accomplishment this year.
Thank you. Anyone have a few words to say?
I'll start it off. To the coaches, the support staff, especially the parents, thank you for providing the foundation for these young athletes to come together to show their skills at the highest level. To the athletes, thank you for putting in the work. I can imagine how in your mind, once you start winning one and then you won 5 and okay, now I'm moving on, like to keep your head straight, it's incredible. But I'm so filled with pride, even though I'm new on the board, I'm filled with pride for you and just the greatest congratulations on your great success this season.
You said you only had two goals on you, in that's a lot of clean sheets. So you guys are definitely holding it down. I coached soccer for a little over 10 years. All 3 of my kids played competitively. So I really love the sport. I know how much hard work and dedication goes into what you guys do, especially trying to do that while maintaining grades and all the other commitments you have, trying to be social with friends. And I know how hard it is for parents to get their children to and from practices, to games, making sure they're fed well, making sure they sleep good, making sure their uniforms are clean and not stinky, because they do get stinky out there. But yeah, it's a great accomplishment to get that championship like that. It just goes to show you all that hard work that pays off. You guys are putting the district on the map, putting your schools on the map. And I know how good that feels to win that championship. So really proud of you guys. Hopefully you keep most of that team together for next season. Congratulations.
Indeed, congratulations to all you young women. Amazing accomplishment to be able to do what you did, scoring 34 and giving up only 2. Incredible work. Should be proud of yourselves. We're proud of you. Parents, thank you for all your support, and to the coaches and staff as well. Incredible work. Can't wait to see what you guys do next year. How many of you guys are graduating, or are you keeping everybody? All right. All right, let's go all the way next year. Let's do it.
Coach, do I know you from your former job in San Bruno? All right. Glad we got that out of the way. Congratulations, everyone. I am a soccer parent. My son played for the JVs at Terra Nova this year, and I'm disappointed to say I never saw you play. But congratulations, great job. All you Terra Nova parents, great job. Thank you very much. I hope you can stick around for a little bit. we'd like to get some pictures after our next little agenda item, okay? Great. Ms. Presta.
Thank you. I am the non-sporty person up here. But I will say that I have a son who played sports in high school and, swimming and track. And I do know that it's a really long day, that you guys have all of your schoolwork, all these different activities and all of the sporting, the practices and the games that you have to go to. It's a lot. So I didn't do that in high school. I did other activities, but I didn't do all of the sports stuff. And I really had no idea what went into it. So, well done. And it's extra great when you get recognized for having such a great season. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you work hard and push yourselves, but that you also enjoy it. And I also know that it's a crazy time of year to be out on a school night because you have so many things due and so many tests. So thanks for being here. Congratulations.
Our next agenda item is it's number 10B, San Mateo County I'm going to start again. It's the San Mateo County Office of Education Sustainability Awardees. Ms. Van Raphorst will take us through it.
Thank you, President Walker. Good evening, everyone. Tonight it is my pleasure to recognize 3 outstanding honorees who have been named standout leaders by the San Mateo County Office of Education as part of the Sustainable and Climate Ready Schools Challenge. This challenge highlights individuals and groups who are not just learning about sustainability, but actively shaping a more sustainable future through leadership, innovation, and action around campus, curriculum, and community. So there are 3 exceptional awardees from Terra Nova High School. And when I talk about your project, if you can come up. First, we recognize the AP Environmental Science Club, led by Ms. Gutierrez. They have been recognized for their Thrift Fit project. This is a student-led initiative tackling the growing issue of fast fashion, which is an industry that has significant environmental impacts from excess water use and textile waste. Through Thrift Fit, students didn't just raise awareness, but they changed behavior. By promoting thrifting as a sustainable alternative, they helped their peers see that small, everyday choices can have a meaningful environmental impact. So under the guidance of their teacher, Ms. Marlene Gutierrez, their work is a powerful example of how education can translate into action. It looks like Ms. Gutierrez has brought a couple of her students from the APES class. Good job. All right, next up, Ava Litz. Ava's a senior at Terra Nova High School, and her leadership spans multiple spaces. The Garden Club, the Climate and Earth Week Planning Committee, and her work with the Pacifica Beach Coalition. Whether she's helping grow food, teaching the Terra Nova Life Skills class about gardening, organizing events that engage the broader school community, or contributing to local environmental efforts, Ava brings people together around a shared purpose, and her work reflects a deep commitment not only to sustainability, but to community building and inclusion. Thank you, Ava. And the final recognition that the county bestowed is to Terra Nova senior Calvin Chan. Calvin has demonstrated an impressive ability to connect environmental awareness with practical solutions. His development of a carpool toolkit addresses transportation emissions, which is one of the most persistent challenges in the Bay Area. In addition, his work with the City of Pacifica Climate Action and Resilience Committee shows a level of civic engagement that is truly commendable. Calvin is not waiting for change, he is helping to design it. Good job, Calvin. So on behalf of the board, I just want to congratulate these people for their outstanding efforts.
Thank you. I imagine the board might want to share a few words with you.
Sure.
No pressure.
No pressure. First of all, okay, I'm really not into thrifting, but my daughter, who is not that far from your age, she's just 2 years older than you, is always thrifting with her friends. So it's just a reminder to me, I'm only a few years older than you, but that how important that youth voice is and how they really on the cutting edge of what should be happening. So I really appreciate that. Thank you for working with Pacifica Climate. Thank you for your carpool toolkit, because you will change the world. And I appreciate that. Thank you.
First of all, congratulations to all you guys for being recognized for all your hard work that you're doing in your communities and at school, and for kind of leading the way in some of these initiatives that you're taking up. As far as thrifting, my oldest daughter, I call her my hippie child. She likes to thrift. She's gotten me into it a little bit. And I find a lot of good old school 49er attire and stuff like that out thrifting. So I'm definitely into it. But anything that sustains, our environment and helps, keep our communities clean and kind of interacting with each other and repurposing things. I mean, all those things are great. And for you young people to take those initiatives upon yourself to kind of, be at the forefront of your peers and your schools to do all that stuff. It says a lot about you guys, and I'm proud that I'm up here and I'm able to say nice things about you guys, and makes me feel good to be part of this district. So, congratulations.
One of our favorite things about board meetings is when we do have a lot of students in the house, whether it's athletes or APE students or students who are on the cusp on doing sustainable work. Mr. Chan, I believe we met about a year ago at the Pacifica Democrats, and you were telling me about all the work you're doing. And so I'm really proud of you for really going above and beyond this school year. Ms. Litz, really fantastic work. Congratulations to you. And Ms. Gutierrez, I mean, come on. You're always doing some really cool stuff with the APES students, and the fact that we've also got some well-rounded students. Some of our soccer players are part of the club too, and so we know that we've got some incredible student leaders here, and the fact that our sustainability practices are really led so much by our students across the district, and it's wonderful to have you be recognized by the county. So congratulations to you all.
Congratulations, everyone, and thank you. I have a few things that I say from time to time, and I just appreciate the fact that the Environmental Science Club, the AP Environmental Science Club, is a bunch of things. It's academic. Sometimes I have to gather my words. It's academic. It also shows leadership in planning. It's also co-curricular. It's not only does it have to do with all your schoolwork, it has to do with the community as well. So I'm just really pleased that we're able to have these type of programs, with these types of leaders, with these types of students. So thank you very much.
I'm always the last one, and they've said all the good stuff, so I'm going to be brief. Thank you for leading our district, Ms. Gutierrez, with sustainability. You are always the person sort of volunteering to learn something new or getting your kids involved in sustainability action, and I really appreciate that. I also want to thank Ms. Van Ramphorst, who has really worked at the district level on sustainability. I remember Ava a couple of years ago coming and wanting to address the board, and this really began with students. Look, I'm talking more than I thought. This began with students, and And I'm proud of our district, and I'm very proud of you students keeping us focused on this because, you know, I'm old now, and I did not realize where our Earth would be. And so us older people, need to take the lead from you. I don't thrift either, and my son does. So I'm hearing this theme tonight. Maybe we'll go with him, but we need to really listen to you and follow your lead. So thank you for your efforts.
So we're going to take you soccer players and you environmental leaders outside. We're going to take a photo. But first, I'm going to add something. Ms. Press was talking about the environment. I thought of something I heard from Neil deGrasse Tyson, who talked about how the environmental protection movement really picked up speed after we went to space, after we went to the moon in the 60s. And I just think it's kind of ironic. Here we are now, just went past the moon again, and we're still doing it. So thanks a lot. And let's take a photo.
So we'll go out here, and I guess we'll have the soccer team
Right out here.
everybody, for honoring our break. Item 10C is Employee of the Year recognition. This is pretty cool. Ms. Lujan. Just vault over.
Good evening. Tonight, it brings me tremendous joy to celebrate our Employees of the Year. Each year, our staff nominate coworkers they feel should be recognized as the Certificated Employee of the Year, also known as the Martha Mead Educator of the Year, the Classified Employee of the Year, also known as the Sue Cook Classified Employee of the Year, and the Administrator of the Year, also known as the Mike Crilly Administrator of the Year. Continuing in the tradition that began in 2017-18, we are pleased to recognize certificated and classified employees of the year from each school site, as well as our administrator of the year. Each of these employees brings a smile to my face as I think about interactions I've had with them, not only as I've watched them support students, but just watching them engage with other employees and just chatting with them. So this evening, to announce all our winners, we will play a short video. Then, following the video, I'll call up the winners who are present this evening by school site to present them with their certificates. Once employees receive their certificate, they can return to their seat. Once all the certificates are distributed, I will turn it over to the board for your comments, and then we'll pause for a picture and ideally enjoy a short recess where we get cake. Okay, and then magical people behind the screen. Oh, you are in my brain. Can we play the video? All right, well, thank you for that. So beginning with adult programs, I'd like to call up Mark Salvacruz and Ginger Zhao. Congratulations. You're welcome. You're very welcome. All right, and from the bus garage, I'd like to call up Justin Diauna. Congratulations. Thank you. All right, and from the district office, Monica Rigger and Oscar Zamora. Okay. Oh, of course, congratulations. Congratulations. All right, from Jefferson High School, Joel Bruxfort and Vicenta Asuncion. Opposite direction and see which way they go. Vicenta, congratulations. Joel, congratulations. From Oceana, Corazon Kenai, and that's it, because our classified person's not here. From Terra Nova, Mika Sasaki and Tracy Edwards. From Thornton, Yvette Yambao-Wacher and Joanne Fadai. Congratulations. You're very welcome. Congratulations. You're so welcome. All right. And from Westmore, Pete McGurdy and Stephanie Magana-Lazo. Congratulations. Thank you. I'm so happy.
Thank you.
Okay. From Youth Point Health, Shane Beltran. And last but certainly not least, our Administrator of the Year, Steph Phillips. All right, I get to turn it over to the board now.
The board?
Yes. So what I want to say is what you do is very difficult, but you do it with so much grace that it looks effortless. On so many jobs, you do not get recognized. Some people used to say, well, you get paid every other week. But what you do with students is like a calling. That's what I feel like. And I hold you in the highest esteem because what you do is last forever. And to be recognized by your fellow colleagues is really the chef's kiss. So congratulations.
I just want to say I'm really digging the energy in here tonight. Just the way you guys are showing up for each other, the way that you're here representing each other and celebrating each other. It's not often that hard work gets rewarded, and so to be up here and be recognized for that hard work and to do it in front of your fellow community members and other people that care just as much as you do really says a lot about, I think, what we're doing here as a district and as a community with each other. And I think that, it needs to happen more often. And I think I wish it would happen in other places. I wish that, this was kind of a regular thing. And it's probably not. And it probably doesn't happen enough in your lives. And for me, it's an honor to be up here and just be able to say thank you and recognize you for all your hard work. So I appreciate it and thank you.
This is definitely one of my favorite events every year because it's really just amazing to be able to honor you who were nominated by your peers. And that's powerful when they recognize the work that you've done this year. And I know for me personally, I know there's a handful of you in here who I consider to be really dear friends. And so it's really gratifying to see you be awarded this year. So congratulations to you all. Job well done on the work you have done with all of our students this year. Thank you so much.
We always say that the meetings are a little better when we have students in the room. Maybe it's really about staff. So thanks for, like Trustee Gallegos said, bringing the energy tonight. I think that's why you've enjoyed some success by bringing it to work all the time. I commend all of you. I was a teacher and I made it through, well, we call it 3 years. But I might have mailed in that last few weeks. So congratulations for sticking it out is what I'm trying to say. And for, discovering a new adventure every so often, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, or whatever. Thank you very much. And I hope that you're able to take some of this energy back with you for these last couple of weeks. I will see most of you around at graduation. Thank you very much. And congratulations.
I had all these brilliant thoughts and they just escaped me. The one thing I want to say right now is thank you to Director Lujan for putting this together, because it's important to the board and to myself and to executive cabinet to acknowledge all of the people in our district that go into, raising our students. It isn't just teachers. It isn't just, bus drivers. It isn't just any number of people. It's all of us together. And so you all make a difference. And so thank you, Dana, for putting out the surveys. And, you were voted on by your peers. So your peers are acknowledging you. So that also feels good. I want to thank all of your family and staff members. I mean, this room is full not because the awardees are here, but because the awardees and all their people are here. So thank you for being a community to each other, and congratulations.
So what we'd like to do is get the awardees to the photo wall with the board and with your people afterward, and then we'll take a short break and have some refreshments.
So I think other people can start on their refreshments while we're taking a photo.
I might be the president, but I'm not in charge of the food. let's continue on with our item 11A, our board report.
Okay, since the last board meeting, I have been making my way to different events that have been going on around the district. I started at Daly City Youth Point Health, where I met with the executive director, Anya Shapiro, so that I could find out more about the good work they do with some of our students. I also went to a documentary filming, Sugarcane, that was offered by Daniel Arzaga and Melissa Ambrose, and that was very interesting. I didn't know anything about that, so I appreciated that education and roundtable discussion. I also went to the Daly City Poet Laureate competition. That was so great. That was awesome. More recently, we had a mental health training for elected officials, which was the first one that was offered. And I think that is a very important niche, and that I'm glad that we're recognized in that. And I hope that that continues. I'm looking forward to my first graduation coming up. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Which one's going to be your first one?
Thornton.
Any more questions? Good? Okay. I personally haven't really been too active on the school board side, but I do want to give a huge shout out to Lysandra for being so engaged as a new board member the way you are, and kind of, really putting yourself into it. So, but nothing new to report for me.
All right, I will second that, the mental wellness training in particular, because I attended as well on Saturday. That was the Be Sensitive, Be Brave for Mental Health workshop for elected officials. It was put on specifically organized by our own Mary Beer, former mayor of Pacifica as well, Eddie Flores, former mayor of South San Francisco, and Sarah McDowell, former mayor from San Carlos, part of an initiative that they had from several years ago, coming out of COVID, realizing that elected officials themselves are always on, right? And oftentimes we don't have a chance to decompress ourselves, and realizing that our mental health is also important, and to be able to recognize it in our board colleagues or council colleagues, and that oftentimes we forget that the person sitting on a dais with us is just that, another person, and that there may be issues going on in that person's life that we're not aware of, and to be able to be supportive, even though we may find ourselves on the other side of an issue. So it's powerful to spend the morning with a room full of around 20-something elected officials, to be able to sort of look at the way we're sort of taking care of ourselves and supporting each other in that space. The other thing on Friday night, being able to attend the San Mateo County School Boards Association Kent Awards, where our district was recognized for two very specific programs. One, the Transforming Systems of Equity from Within. So awesome to be able to be recognized for the district-wide equity work that we've been doing. And of course, with Joel Brutchford in the house, the Jefferson High School Engineering Pathway. So very proud of your work, Joel, and with our students, and for it to be recognized on a countywide basis as well is pretty powerful. So thank you so much. And that is all. Well, actually, no, one last thing. We also hosted for the fourth in a row, CSBA, California School Boards Association Workforce Housing training cohort, this time with a handful of other districts from around the Bay Area, where they toured 705 Serramonte, and we spent about an hour or so talking about the process with them on how we built 705 Serramonte. So it was good to always continue to share our in-depth knowledge of the work we've done there with other districts.
I feel like I've been looking at the three of you and Vice President Tejada a lot over the last couple of weeks, and yet still, I have nothing to report.
All good. I want to thank actually all of the board members. Lysandra, I'm really impressed with how many events you've been to in the community. And thank you. It makes a really big difference, actually. People have been mentioning it to me. wow, that new board member, she was at this. So it makes a difference. And so thank you. But all of you, it makes a difference when you're out in our schools and in the community.
Can I add something?
What do you say?
I want to add something. So not only is everybody saying, oh, the new board member is terrific.
Board member.
What's really cool is you get to say to people, we have a new board member. Have you met her yet? Because she's been here, she's been there. And oh, you haven't met her? Well, that's too bad.
I love that. I said this, I think, at the last meeting, am grateful for my staff and board members for taking up the slack that I feel. I'm usually at a bunch of things, and I've been less at a bunch of things because my son is graduating this year. And so we were like touring colleges and things like that. And again, this past week, I was at a lot of stuff, Oceana Senior Awards, which was great. I've never gone to a senior awards. And so that was really awesome. It was a great night. And I was at multiple proms, driving kids around. I've never done that before. So I'm getting the high school experience from another lens, actually, recently. I want to mention that we had our last Student Advisory Council meeting last night. And beforehand, I had 2 students meet with me at 5 because we're planning for next year. Then the rest of the kids came at 6 and we did more planning for next year. And then they came in at 7 o'clock with the regular board meeting to get their awards. And so one of the favorite things I do is work with student advisory, and it was a really nice night. And I'm so impressed with those students. So I want to say this because that meeting wasn't recorded. I'm just so impressed with all of the students that join and give their time. They come the first and third Monday nights. I mean, that's a lot. And then they rotate coming to these board meetings. So they are really very involved. And then they go back to their school sites and are working on projects. So very, very impressed and thankful for that group of kids. And I too was at the Kent Awards. I'm happy that Joel Bruxford is here to hear this again. The CTE engineering pathway, Denise Shreve isn't here tonight, but she was with us the other night. Great honor, very proud of your work. And really grateful to be honored for our equity work. So Ms. Baca and I were there with Rosie Tejada and Andy Lee, our board trustees, to accept that award. Very proud of the work that we are all doing. And it's nice to be recognized. And then I was at CSBA Workforce Housing with Andy, and boy, they're like, you guys have it down. It's really, I'm grateful to Andy, who fixes the slides and makes them look nice and he's got a mind for all of the numbers. So they say, how much was this? And we all kind of look at Andy and he knows all of it. But we really are seen as leaders, and it's nice to be recognized. And I think that is it for me. Thank you.
Do we have any board subcommittee reports? How about the AFT Local 1481 report with Ms. Casey? And I think this is our last time.
Is my last board meeting. Yeah.
And before you start, I just want to let you know, every time I see this, I think of you. There is no class without classified.
Yes. So I want to thank everyone for, this is my last board meeting. I probably will still be around a little bit, but, I am proud to be a part of this district and to lead our people. I'm very confident in those who are taking over. We have 2 co-presidents, Michaela Christensen and Adam Kuby, and 2 co-vice presidents, Robert Rustiet and Matt Barnes. And so one of the things that I felt was really important in my tenure was to make sure that everyone knows that our district is almost virtually wall to wall, which means that we represent both classified and certificated, pretty much everyone, except for the cafe workers, they're Teamsters. And so that was really important to me, to make sure that we knew that our classified, we cannot have class without our classified. They are so important to us. And that's why I get on you, everybody. I get on them when they say, even our own classified people will say teachers, our teachers union. I'm like, we are not a teachers union. We are a union of educators. If you're a bus driver, you're an educator. If you're a custodian, you're an educator. If you're a counselor, you're an educator. And so that covers all of us. If you're an administrator, you're an educator. So thank you for the wonderful Staff Appreciation Week. I know it was Teacher Appreciation Week and the national and everything, but I know we made it Staff Appreciation Week. Well, CFT has a Classified Appreciation Week, and so I've been going around passing out these posters. Classified professionals, we do it all, because they do.
Will you show it to our friends on YouTube? Oh, wait. They are looking at you.
Am I
Sorry.
going the right way?
Yeah, it's this way. You're right.
And so I'm giving out buttons for the classified people. It says classified professionals, we do it all, and hanging some of these in different locations. And I just wanted to say, I know coming up, I think it's next week, is Classified Appreciation Week. I know we did a Staff Appreciation Week, so I just want to make a point. And I think that's all I've got to say. So thank you.
I just want to say thank you, Monica. We just had a retiree reception, but I just want to say thank you. And I'm going to get choked up, so that's all I'm going to say. Thank you.
I would like to say also, thank you for your years of, to this district and for becoming a friend as well. This is one of the cool things I think about us, because we're the size that we are. It's really easy for we as board members to become friends with staff. And I'm proud to call you one. So I'm really grateful for all the work you've done. And, I don't know if I've shared this one story with you. Not long after 705 ceremony opened, and I know you were doing sort of the media circuit yourself, especially within CFT, doing webinars for union members. And I got a text from one of my cousins, who is a CFT member in Southern California. And she was just beaming with joy because she had seen you on the webinar talking about our district, and she already knew about the work we had done just from my social media postings, et cetera. So it was really just cool to be able to share that moment with my family. And thank you again for all your incredible work you've done.
We're going to miss seeing you in here at these meetings, Monica. Even if it was just you sometimes. It's been a pleasure getting to know you, though. Been a pleasure working alongside you. I really appreciate how hard you work for, our community, our people, your people, and how you represent them. So, from one union member to another, good job.
I want to say something, even though I'm new, because the job that you have, which clearly you're an educator at heart, and to blend that with fighting for really the community, because you want to make sure that your people are held to a high esteem and they feel like they're getting their worth. That's very challenging. And one thing that I heard, even when I was talking to Tony on the phone before I came in for my interview, was about the good relationship that the union had with the board. And that's just so important. If you could, it takes a long time to get there, the foundation build and planting seeds and stuff, and then just working through things and building trust. So you're a part of that. And I'm sure that that legacy is going to be carried forward. So thank you for everything you've done for the kids, for your staff, and for the community.
I don't have all kinds of words. Thanks. And I think that meeting you at Oceana High School 5 years ago is one of the reasons I'm here now. So thanks. And I will think of you and paraphrase Terrell Owens, and I'll always think, that's my president. Item 12 is the consent agenda.
Move to approve consent. That's a transition.
Second.
All in favor of approving the consent agenda?
Aye.
Aye.
And no, there are no blue cards for this evening.
Thank you. No public comment. Discussion items 14A1. The Jefferson Union Sustainability Committee will give us an annual update. I think the Deputy Superintendent of Business Services, Tina Van Rapphorst, will update us.
Thank you, President Walker. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I am very excited to introduce our Jefferson Union Sustainability Committee. This committee was formed last year as a result of the school board's adoption of Board Policy 3510, Green School Operations. The committee has grown and is doing excellent work improving our district's sustainability efforts. We have a number of members here tonight to present an update on some of the work that was accomplished this year. At the end of the presentation, I will provide our student members with certificates acknowledging their contribution and commitment. For those that are presenting, please make sure you introduce yourself to the board when you begin, and I will let you just take it away. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Bryce Teely. I'm a sophomore from Oceana High School, and I'd like to introduce the Jefferson Union Sustainability Committee's annual presentation. Oh, I did. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so firstly, who is represented? So we have people from every school, including Jefferson, Oceana, Terra Nova, Westmore, Thornton, and adult education, as well as others from within the district. We also have community partners from San Mateo County Office of Education and the City of Pacifica.
Hi, my name is Bianca Salazar. I'm a junior at Terra Nova High School, and I recently joined this year, and I am hoping to contribute more next year. Out of 27 members of the Jefferson Union Sustainability Committee, there are 12 students, 6 teachers, 4 other staff, and 5 community partners. Students make up 44% of our committee, and we have locations from Westmore High School, Terra Nova, district-wide, Oceana High School, San Mateo County, Office of Education, City of Pacifica, Adult Ed, Jefferson High School, and Thornton High School.
Okay, so we have 3 subcommittees, and one of them is the waste management recap. But yeah, I'm Emma Kim, by the way. I'm a junior at Oceana High School. This was my first year on the sustainability committee, and I decided to join the waste management. So what we wanted to focus on really was the problem of waste being really contaminated at the school sites. And especially with the tri-bins, they weren't really being used as tri-bins. And you can see kind of like in those photos, a lot of the trash was just thrown across all the 3 bins. And we also found out that if 20% of the trash is contaminated, it's just going to end up in the waste. So even if we have compost bins or recycling bins, it's just going to all end up in the landfill. And then we saw this as like a need for more waste literacy and advocacy for waste education at the schools in the district. So in this small subcommittee, we decided to work out more with the ecology and like translating the waste billing first to see what really is going on with like where's our waste going and how are we analyzing it. So we aim to increase the compost and recycling while reducing the landfill on the billing, because with higher landfill servicing, it's a more expensive bill for all of the schools. And then we also wanted to improve the tri-bin signage, so using waste items from school cafeteria. And so we made some more like 3D signs at the school. And yeah, so we did contact with ecology and we got it sorted out. There was a little bit of confusion with like not having composting source, but we got that through. And then also creating like an Earth or Waste Week at Oceana High School. That was the first week we did it here like 2 weeks ago. And then also having more waste trivia games during lunch at the different schools. And we also had a garden day for the JUHSD community for any students to come by on April 25th, which was the week of Earth Week or Earth Day. And then we also made or altered the waste management presentation from the San Mateo County Office of Education, and we sent it out to the schools, and it was presented during advisories, and it was just about how landfills, there's a bunch of landfills really close by to where we live at San Mateo County and also Jefferson Union, and how this waste problem really affects everyone. And so for our future goals, continuing forward in this committee, we really wanted to continue advocating for education on waste awareness, and then improving the signage at schools and making it more exclusive for what's being served in lunchrooms, implementing more waste monitors with incentives. That was a big thing. We did want to have waste monitors, but it was a big deal, like community service hours or like how they would get paid for doing that work. And then maybe create a video public service announcement on the tri-bins and waste sorting, and potentially present that at the schools similar to the waste presentation we previously did.
I'm Joel Bruxford, teacher at Jefferson High School. So I am part of our second committee, which was the Green Ribbon application. So on the committee, this is our second year. The first year we called our committee the Goals Committee, but by the second year we realized that a program like the Green Ribbon Schools program would be a good feature. Julie Hilborn from the County Office of Sustainability, Office County of Ed, really led us that way, and it's a good way to just get kind of an overview of what we're doing as a district. And kind of check in how we do relative to other school districts. So when we put the effort into this, we can see how we fit, and it can help us set our goals now. There are 3 pillars to the Green Ribbon Schools. And so I'll go through those 3 ribbons, through those 3 pillars. And the application is due early in the fall. So one theme is that some things we did well, some things we just weren't able to write about. In the end, we did not achieve recognition this year because the application is like 34 pages and there's a lot of writing. So we're very proud of the start we got on it, and that we will apply again next year, and we have a base to start from. I just want to shout out Marcus Peppers, was kind of the lead writer and the organizer as administrator. Aaron Sanchez, Robert Rustia participated strongly, and Michelle added in some of the health things, and of course Tina is always there for us. And Mike Brust came in, and we'll talk about his role in a minute. So the first pillar is just reducing our environmental impact. So we are doing really well in some places in reducing energy use. So the solar panels around the buildings, the sustainable staff housing, the way the new construction shows really good on this kind of application. We were able to show well on some of the green spaces that we monitor, and some tree planting at Oceana and telling those stories. Those did well for us. After reviewing the application, we realized we still have to work on tracking our energy use a little bit better. It was difficult to get the data into the application and tell the story with the data that we had in hand. But Mike has come on since we put that application in, has started to compile that data. So I'm really positive about that. There are different programs. Also, the EPA Energy Star Portfolio Manager will help us tell our story about our energy use. And we have a track record recorded, and then we can follow how we're doing, and that can show what changes we're making. So then, helping to track our greenhouse gases. So that's our first pillar. The second pillar is the health and wellness. We follow the Healthy School Act. Our school mental health programs are really strong and are a good story we can tell about that. Also, like watching the student gardens and the activities of the students here, those are really positive things for this pillar. We did, from a health standpoint, we really aren't tracking what our classrooms are like. So they want to know if it's natural light. They actually wanted to know if they can see trees out the windows. So we have some data collection that's going to have to be done that we haven't, that once we get that rolling, that will help tell our story too. The third pillar is the increased sustainability in literacy. And there's some really positives, like the Gutierrez programs, the APES program, the environmental science programs, my engineering classes, our active environmental clubs are really good. We're supporting field trips to partners. We have this, our committee contributes a lot to that. We did, their plans for the future really are kind of bringing them all together and telling a unified story. We seem to be doing, sometimes it feels like we're doing things individually and other people don't know what's going on. Or we may be doing things, but we're not coordinating what we do. So that is something that we will want to look at. And I think we can be stronger together if we know what each other are doing. And so I think we're going to be looking at that. And that, if that means, how you as a board, put forward expectations of working together as a district. So it's not just individual compartmentalized type work. And next year, we'll get our score up. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kelsey Watley. I'm a 10th grader at Westmore High School, and I'm a part of the communications committee. And basically what we do is try to spread awareness of the committee, and we try to have events spread and just show people basically what we're doing just to get the word out. And a way that we've done this is with our Instagram posts, and we made a lot of posts to spread awareness, such as waste reduction awareness posts in school and community events, such as the Climate Week and the Nature Bus. And we've also had a lot of information about holidays such as World of Water Day, Earth Day, and America Recycle Day. In addition to that, we've also had posts just showing ways on how you can, for example, we've made a Halloween post showing how you can properly dispose of your Halloween candy, because as you know, when it's Halloween, a lot of people litter, and we also made posts about Christmas and how to properly dispose of a Christmas tree. And we've had a lot of school spotlights, such as Terra Nova's Ape Soil Your Undies project, and it's basically showing your soil, the soil pH, and how you can see your how healthy your soil is based on how the underwear decomposes. And for Oceana, there was the Conservation Club trip visit to Rockaway Beach for tide pooling. And additionally, for Westmore, there was the Environmental Action Club thrift store, and we've had multiple of those across the school year. And Jefferson's had a school-wide beach cleanup event. And also your inaugural trip of Thornton High School, and hopefully for the beginning of a new partnership with the Planet B Foundation, which manages a hive at this location.
And then beyond just our post on Instagram, we also wanted to try and spark more collaboration across the district. So we hosted a event with collaboration at the Pacific Beach Coalition to host a cleanup at Esplanade Beach in Pacifica. And we were able to get 50 volunteers to help us out. And together we were able to collect 1,300 cigarette butts,
13 pounds of recycling, and 76 pounds of garbage, and we hope to continue to do those in the future. Okay, and then so some of our future goals include to continue to increase inter-school collaboration. So potentially that could be a district-wide habitat restoration day or a common field trip across schools to an outdoor area like San Bruno Mountain or Heron's Point. And we'd also like to increase education about sustainability by continuing to grow our Instagram page. And something that we'd really like to try and do in the future is to potentially host a speaker event about sustainability that students across the district could attend. And then we also want to give a big shout out to all of our supporters. So, of course, you all, the Jefferson Union High School District Board, we really appreciate all of your support. The San Mateo County Office of Education, Peninsula Clean Energy, the San Mateo County Sustainability Department, and the City of Pacifica. We really couldn't have done it without these community partners. So thank you, and that's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Before I let the board talk real quick, I just want to recognize the students who have been on this committee through the year. And each of these students have shown initiative, creativity, above all, a willingness to take action, which is so inspirational. So I have certificates for all the students. I'll give you guys yours in a second, but I'm just going to read their names real quick. So from Terra Nova High School, we have Calvin Chan, Kevin Lay, Ava Litz, Bianca Salazar. From Oceana High School, Emma Kim and Bryce Thiel. From Westmore High School, Angel Ong, Seiji Fan, Keto Fan, Oscar Tran, Kelsey Watley, and Jasmine Wong. And that is it. So thank you.
Okay, I'm going to start. So,
Trustee Gutter,
oh,
thank you for starting. You don't have to, though.
no, I want to.
Okay. Thank you.
So I really don't know where to start because I feel some guilt. I don't remember doing any of this stuff when I was your age and in school, and I feel like maybe my generation left a little bit of extra trash at the beach probably at some point in time. And now you guys are, I just feel that you guys are so far ahead of where I was at your age. And the work that you're doing, the partnerships that you're building with outside of the school, you know, with the cities and the counties, I just think it's amazing. The data collection that you're going to be doing is going to serve as a foundation that other people are going to be coming to look at to see what they can do. They're going to copy this. It's just amazing. I'm just so glad to be here tonight to hear all this. Thank you for all your work. I can't wait to see what happens when you report back, you know, on the stuff that you want to do next. I know it's going to be great. Keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully we can support you and what you need to get there.
I think you might have to give Trustee Gallegos a quarter for using his phrase. Keep doing what you're doing.
First of all, I want to say awesome presentation, you guys. I know the program's relatively new. I want to say I remember like when a couple of students first maybe came to one of the board meetings about the idea, and they kind of see, you know, as it's growing now and all the work that you've already done, it's really impressive, first of all. When I think about it too, it's like you know, everything that you guys do, not just when you get together to pick up trash, but just getting together and thinking about ideas, just writing them down, game planning how you guys want to involve other parts of the community. All of it is helping. It's not just when you're out there picking trash up or figuring out how to recycle it and all that stuff. It's all your engagement. It's whenever you recruit people, it's, you know, everything about it is great. So And as it continues to grow, it's just going to build momentum. And what I like about what you guys are trying to do is you're making it cool. You're making it cool to show the other students and engage your community and taking care of our Mother Earth, right? I mean, it's really important. Otherwise, we're not going to have a nice, healthy planet for our own kids and grandkids to grow up in. And if we start that now, and you guys are starting at a lot younger age than any of us ever got involved in anything like that. I can speak for myself on that, but you guys are hopefully teaching your siblings, right? If you have any younger siblings, and they, so it's just it just dominoes. And I think it's a really great thing what you guys are doing, all of you guys, everybody involved. And I really appreciate all your work on it. So looking forward to more updates, looking forward to seeing you guys grow this program and all the great work that's going to come with it. So thank you.
I love leadership development that's occurring with sophomores and juniors on this committee. Students, if you don't mind coming up here, I'm going to ask you just a couple of questions. Specifically, one, was there a particular project that you worked on this year that you really enjoyed? Doesn't have to be all of you, but if one of you wants to answer that, you can come up to the podium.
Okay. Also, I didn't introduce myself earlier, and I realized that. I'm Ava. I'm a senior at Terra Nova, and I've been on the committee for 2 years, and I've also been on the communications subcommittee for 2 years, and this year I was the subcommittee lead. And something that was really cool and a project that we worked on was, as Kelsey mentioned, was the infographics about different environmental holidays. And Kelsey definitely spearheaded that. So she made quite a few of those infographics. And just seeing how together we were able to raise awareness on those special days, and especially related to kind of just holidays you wouldn't really think about that cause a lot of waste, like Christmas. You kind of don't think about it until you do, and you're like, whoa, all of that, even the Christmas trees, if they're not properly disposed, if they're just left on the street, can really kind of have a larger negative impact. So I really like the infographic part. That was definitely my favorite project.
Awesome. They're really clean, really well done. I thought that was pretty impressive to see how beautiful those infographics are. Clean. They communicate the items really easily, and looks really great on social media.
So yeah, this is my first year, and I think just getting into the waste management committee, and it was all really stemming from one big project and lowering waste. But I think especially with making that waste week was really cool, because I saw how much steps go into making something happen, but also communicating with ecology. I think the waste spilling, that was really interesting, because it showed me how it's a lot more systematic with tribans, and how talking with them and trying to figure out how to lower that waste was really interesting. So
yeah, kudos to that committee. That's really great, because you saw the problem and you looked for the solution. That's really great. Mr. Brooksford, come on up, and I'll ask you a question.
I was also a part of the waste management, and at Terra Nova, me and another member who isn't here, Kevin, we did a presentation on waste management, how to know which bin to put which piece of garbage in, where our waste goes, and the problems that go with not knowing where to put your waste. And we did it for the biology classes for our freshmen, and it was really interesting to see them asking questions and showing that they kind of cared about this. And it was my first thing here for the Jefferson Union Sustainability Committee, and I'm kind of proud.
Awesome. You should be. That's really great. Really great. Well done. Awesome. And Mr. Bradford, question with regards to one of the things on the environmental impact was you said you're looking into an EPA Energy Star portfolio manager. What does that mean, and how, and in our context potentially?
That is not a program that I have personally reviewed, so I am just transmitting this. But it is a standardized electronic type portfolio that would track uses of energy. So it is a standardized process. Or I believe it is a software or a software service that would then help us track that information.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. I mean, everything that was part of this piece of the presentation, it's powerful what we're trying to do.
Yeah, tracking the data and seeing what we're doing and then finding the areas that we can improve on. It's hard work to get the data organized, but getting the data organized will lead to good outcomes.
No, this is great. Thank you so much. Really great work. Yeah, I'm just impressed with the work here, and for Terra Nova APES, congratulations on, I think you're in almost 11 years on the board. This is the first time I've heard the use of the word undies in a board meeting. So congratulations. But I appreciate actually the work and the scientific reasoning behind said project.
I thought I was going to be able to bring up the undies. Beat me to it. Some of us were here last night with the student trustees, and we talked about trustee Vice President Tejada talked about how the student trustee program is a robust opportunity. And I agree with her. I'm glad she said it, so I could say it again tonight. This is quite a robust opportunity. I wrote down a bunch of stuff that I could never give it back to you in organized fashion, but I'm going to try. So you may have been listening earlier, and I'll forgive you if you were not, when I talked about how, the environmental movement is new, right? It's just 1960s. I mean, it's before I was born. Maybe not all of us. But so it's old. I'm sorry, it's new, even though it's older than I am. Sorry. So we're still coming up with ways to figure out how to do this. And that's what you're doing right now. This is trailblazing work. Trustee Gallegos mentioned that we're still, and we probably will be for a long time, in the ideas phase of how this happens. So it's trailblazing work. And I see all kinds of leadership opportunities. So I'm kind of talking to the people who are watching on YouTube right now. Leadership opportunities in our district for students and staff and teachers to participate in this program, which is a little bit different than some of the others we offer. But still, we talk about educational things like literacy. We talked about coordination, cooperation, and collaboration. Trustee Gallegos mentioned that you get to take action, right? There's a whole synergy of opportunity here. So I'm glad you've seized this opportunity. I'm glad that through you, the district gets to offer it. And thank you for your work.
Thank you. Listening to President Walker makes me kind of mad at us oldies, though it's not so new. 60 years. We really don't have a lot of time, and we need to get on the train. I have a question, actually. Something that people that work with me know makes me go crazy is the waste bins, and the fact that it seems like an impossibility that we have bins that are labeled for different things and that people actually put those different things in those bins. So I love that you had a waste management committee. That makes me crazy happy. And I didn't know that if 20% of the waste in the bins was contaminated, that if the 20% of the bin was contaminated, it just goes into landfill. And so I have a question. So you guys worked on that. I'm glad that you went into the classes. Was it at one school that you went into the freshman classes? That was at Terra Nova? Okay. So I'm wondering if you can speak to, is there a plan to do more of that? Was there any change that happened because of your learning? Do you have any plans on how to move forward with that? Do you need our support? Because that seems like the $64,000 question. Like, how can we get people to put their waste into the right bins? So if any of you has any thoughts on that, I welcome you. Like, how did it go? More plans to...
Yeah, so at Terra Nova, they had the students present, and then also Oceana, or we sent out a presentation for all of the schools, but I know at Oceana, we had it at every advisory as well, and it was more about like putting waste in the bins. And then we did a lot of sorting games, but a lot of this was done as like a final thing because in the beginning of the year, we were more focused on having waste sorters that would be at the bins. And they would be part of the kitchen crew at the, for each school. And that seemed like the best idea because then you'd have people there like sorting it out. And also we came up with a big plan about how the waste bill, it wouldn't be more expensive to have more landfill. But if we had less landfill and we actually used the tri-bins, it would be cheaper. And maybe from that money could be sourced into the kitchen crew that would be there. But, when contacting like the Denise, I think it was more hard to get the kitchen crew to actually want to be in front of the tri-bins. And we tried other incentives like going into the advisory councils and stuff with me and Lori, and then having them maybe do community service hours. But there is a big problem about how that was being at school time and how you can't have community hours at school time. And then maybe like gift cards was an option, but then we heard from other people that no, that wasn't something that could be done because there's a lot of like complications, legal complications with that. So that's why we moved that to a future solution.
Okay.
We wanted to implement it during that waste week at the schools, but it was kind of like a harder process of recruiting students or staff to do it. But we definitely want to move forward and kind of maybe find out a little way to go around those like set things until getting the waste management. Because I've talked with also other schools. There's a couple of schools in San Mateo County District, and also I think more of like the private schools where they have some of the teachers or students that do the waste management, and their waste is definitely, the tri-bins are being 100% used there. And
so it seems like a person kind of at the tri-bins at lunch period or brunch or something like that seems to be something that you guys think will make a difference.
Yeah. I mean, because we can give as much advocacy as we can to like students, but there's gonna always be that like some people that wouldn't really, it's more convenient to just throw away your trash. And I don't know, a lot of our students are like focused on that conveniency. So.
Yeah, I really appreciate you explaining. When we had student advisory here recently, they were talking about some of the projects that they worked on and how they had this thought at first, and then they tried this, and then that didn't work, so then they tried this. And that's just actually how life is, right? Like we try something and then it may not work, and then we try something else. And so I appreciate hearing that. Do you think that that you need different bins, or are the bins fine? It's just people that aren't doing it right. I mean, I'm asking just your opinion.
I think the bins they've tried different things like, making the different lidding or placing them differently. And it's just about, the closest bin is going to be where everything's thrown into. But there is a lot of like, I think the education does help. I mean, more like individual exclusive education, like seeing when people know that, these landfills are right next to us, it's actually affecting us, then there's definitely going to be more of an initiative. But also having every student pay attention, because you can see that's that 20%, if it is contaminated, then everyone's work is kind of like gone away.
Right.
But I think having someone there definitely would help. I mean, especially with students, but we're thinking of alternatives. There's definitely like a lot of planning, but I think having, I don't know if you guys would know how like getting that waste billing and putting that money into waste managers. I don't know how that would.
No, I don't know. Yeah. It's a good idea though. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Actually, Miss Van Ramphorst, I think we are going to stop real quick just to take a photo with them because we like to take photos to put into the message. Sorry.
We're going to the hall.
Yeah. So we'll go to the hallway and take a quick photo.
conservation and environment, because one thing that is clear is that JUHSD thinks a lot beyond traditional education into taking care of our environment, taking care of the community, taking care of the whole student in lots of different ways. And it's really evident. And that's partially what I'm going to talk about today. So thank you so much for having me here and for this opportunity to present. Tonight I want to, and by the way, I'm going to read some of this because otherwise it'll take me an hour. I get really passionate. So trying to stick to my 15 minutes. So tonight I want to give you a fuller picture of Youth Point Health and the range of services that we provide and why this model matters so much to JUHSD students and families for them. One of the biggest things that I hope to communicate tonight is that Youth Point is not just a partner organization connected to the district. It's something that grew out of JUHSD's vision and continues to serve as an extension of the district's commitment to students' well-being and success. And what makes this model especially unique is that we integrate physical health care, mental health care, prevention programming, youth leadership, and family support into one coordinated system. So what most of you, this is not down. Thank you. So what most of you on the board likely already know is that this year we have rebranded. For many years, we have been the Daly City Youth Health Center. We are now Youth Point Health. One of the major reasons for our rebrand is that our name, rooted in its geography, was limiting access to a lot of the youth, that many of our community partners and community members thought they had to reside in Daly City in order to be served. So we really wanted to change that, create more clarity, and also be more youth focused. So we spent a number of years researching names and working really hard and holding focus groups to find our new name, and we finally did. We are very pleased with it. It also demonstrates the youth-centered kind of community and the way that youth are engaged with us and how we got to this point. So I wanted to show you our org chart because I think it's a really good visual that helps to explain our complicated relationship with the San Mateo County Medical Center and where JUHSD kind of governs. So you'll see there demonstrated in orange is our medical team. That is overseen by SMMC. There you can see their governing board. Everything in blue is overseen by JUHSD. You can see yourselves, the governing board that oversees all of our services. And we also have a Youth Point Health Advisory Board that meets with us regularly to more closely oversee our planning, strategic planning, and services, and have a better understanding of our day-to-day work. What you'll see that you all are in charge of supporting includes behavioral health, health education, substance use prevention, youth leadership, community engagement, workforce development through our clinician training. And there is one piece missing on this org chart that we're going to have to add, and that is our more recently established youth advisory group that now consists of about 10 JUHSD students that help to guide our services. And the integrated structure is one of the reasons our model is able to support students more comprehensively than siloed systems. So one thing, some of the reasons for why these services are especially important is we are serving youth during a time of rapidly increasing mental health needs. We're seeing rates of adolescent anxiety and youth mental health conditions continuing to rise dramatically. And at the same time, most youth who need care still never receive it. Not because they don't want help, but because the system is difficult to navigate. It's fragmented, it's expensive, and it's inaccessible. And schools are increasingly becoming the place where these challenges show up first. through attendance issues, through behavioral struggles, through emotional distress, family stress, and academic decline. And Youth Point Health exists to help close these gaps. One of the major problems that families face is fragmentation. A student may need medical care or therapy or family support, or substance use intervention or school support, but traditionally these services exist in separate systems that don't really communicate well with each other. And that creates confusion and delays and high dropout rates from care. And our model is intentionally designed to reduce those disconnects through this integrated school-linked service. So what you'll see now is a part that I especially want to emphasize tonight. About 36 years ago, a little over 36 years, JUHSD recognized that supporting student well-being requires more than academics alone. And it helped to create an innovative school-linked health model. And that vision has continued to evolve into what Youth Point Health is today. And that isn't simply a contracted service like those that exist in other districts. Our district is the only one in the county and likely one of very few in the state with a model that combines such comprehensive list of services tied so directly to a district ecosystem. And this model is something that grew out of this district's innovative thinking and commitment to its students and families. So again, everything that we're serving includes primary care. It includes reproductive and sexual health care services. It includes a multi-tiered mental health service program, substance use prevention and intervention, peer-led health education, youth leadership programs, and workforce development for behavioral health through our clinician practicum training. And all of these are designed to reduce barriers and support the whole student, and many are accessible in multiple settings. So this includes our clinic, our school campuses, and even in our clients' homes. So this is another kind of illustration that might help you to kind of better comprehend all of the services that are provided. And give a broader overview of the services. So our primary care clinic provides accessible medical care for youth and young adults. This includes preventive care, reproductive health services, STI testing and treatment, sports physicals, chronic disease management. Our behavioral health team provides trauma-informed therapy and family-centered care to youth ages 5 through 25. This was expanded down below 12 during the pandemic when we saw a rise for younger siblings and elementary and middle schools locally that needed assistance. Our INSPIRE program focuses on restorative approaches to substance use prevention and intervention. Our PLAY program provides peer-led health education and youth leadership development directly in schools. And our behavioral health training program helps to train the next generation of clinicians through intensive supervision and practicum experiences. And a good amount of those trainees end up working in the school district later as wellness staff, which we love to see. So this slide speaks directly to our behavioral health program specifically. One of the things that makes our behavioral health approach especially effective is our emphasis on a deeper healing and family engagement. And many systems in the mental health field are forced to focus on brief symptom management because of time constraints and funding constraints. And our model prioritizes relationship building, understanding root causes, and engaging families whenever possible. And this often leads to more meaningful and sustainable change for students. And so just some numbers, between September and March of this year alone, we completed 372 behavioral health screenings. We served 257 long-term therapy clients. We provided over 4,200 behavioral health appointments and facilitated more than 700 family visits. And this slide speaks more specifically to JUHSD on-campus services. So between September and March, we served 73 students directly on campus. That's just for this year. 73% of them demonstrated measurable improvement in well-being. This we know using our PCOMS outcome measures. This is something we do at every session so we can see well-being improvement across treatment. 67% of students' families were actively engaged in treatment, which is especially meaningful because family participation is often one of the strongest predictors of long-term success. And importantly, 31% of the students we served who did not have Medi-Cal insurance but still struggled to obtain ongoing mental health care received services pro bono, ensuring financial barriers didn't prevent access to care. This slide speaks specifically to our primary care team. And our primary care clinic continues to serve as a major access point for youth support. So in addition to, between July 2025 and March 26, we served nearly 2,900 unduplicated clients. And in addition to the primary care services, because the services are integrated, medical visits also become opportunities to identify emotional distress, safety concerns, and other needs early. So a lot of the patients that come in that never intend to receive also behavioral health services get flagged, and then they get a warm handoff. And our model is particularly important with the warm handoff process, where youth can be connected directly to behavioral health support during the visit, which dramatically increases follow through compared to traditional referrals. Our PLAY program. PLAY stands for Peer Leadership Alternatives for Youth. This program focuses heavily on prevention and youth leadership. They help students build knowledge, communication skills, confidence, and healthy relationship practices. And we involve our peer leaders in teaching the health education classes to all willing JUHSD freshman students who we know, even though our adult teachers are amazing, the students receive the information much better from their peers than they would from the adults. And their peers are also in a large part responsible for distributing this year over 6,000 condoms across all JUHSD schools. In previous years, they've reached all the way up to 10 or 1,600. And we have seen our pregnancy rates decrease in this school district for one reason or another. I'd like to think that this is a part of that. This year, PLAY reached 784 youth. They trained 65 peer health leaders and educators. And like I said, 6,000 condoms so far this year. And importantly, 77% of participants showed measurable improvement in social emotional skills, health education knowledge, and confidence. So we really like to see those results. Another beloved program of ours that you have heard about recently is our INSPIRE program. This stands for Innovative Strategies for Prevention and Intervention through Restorative Education. And our program approaches substance use through a restorative education instead of punitive responses. So the goal is to keep students connected to school while addressing underlying concerns and early. This year, 65 students avoided suspension through our brief intervention program, and INSPIRE provided prevention education to nearly 1,200 youth and community members. The program also embeds staff directly into schools, like our behavioral health does, and this allows for earlier intervention and stronger relationships with the students. And you might recall Mary Beer recently presenting on this program. I'm really glad that she did, because if I don't have enough time to tell you about all the other things that they do. It would take a lot longer. So I'm just going to stop here for INSPIRE, except for one thing, which is our goal, as I'll go into in a little bit in a separate conversation, is to expand our INSPIRE program to go beyond prevention and into treatment for those students who need more than brief intervention to reach their health goals. And lastly, I just want to close by emphasizing that Youth Point Health represents something genuinely special within JUHSD. Very few school-linked systems integrate medical care and mental health and prevention and youth leadership and family engagement and workforce development in this comprehensive way. And this work supports not only student health, but also attendance and stability and school engagement and long-term success. And ultimately, this exists because of JUHSD's longstanding commitment to supporting the whole student, because of you and your predecessors' innovative thinking. And so I just want to thank you for your support and your partnership, and we look forward to serving the students. And I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody has them.
Please. Trustee Gutter.
So thank you for your presentation. So many things. I wrote down so many things. When you started talking about comprehensive care, one of the things that I thought about was when I used to work in the juvenile hall, we would sometimes refer to things as a wrap. They're getting wrap services. And wrap services just included all of these little aspects. And yes, that is why your program is working. In addition to you having committed staff and just everything in place, it's just, the importance of relationship building. And then the warm handoff in the beginning is like, yes, because usually there's so much going on for that person at that first initial meeting. And for them to just talk about that one thing was very big. But for your staff to kind of offer and say, oh, but we have this. I mean, you're really helping people to bring their guard down, not feel shame and all of these other negative things that they have going on in their mind. I'm so glad that this is here. I'm just so glad. And I'm sure that some of the kids at the juvenile hall, I could just see that some of those families that lived in North County, which we didn't have that many, would have really done well with something like Youth Point, because if you can wrap the whole family, you really can improve lives. That's right. And the community. So thank you for all that you're doing and all that you're going to continue to do. And I just hope that the board is able to support Youth Point Health.
And the board has consistently done so for 36 years. There's one thing that you reminded me of that I think I was speeding through that I forgot to mention. When we think about warm handoffs, our wellness team that's already embedded on each campus at JUHSD does a huge amount of these warm handoffs to Youth Point. And the way that it works, the way that it embeds really seamlessly into this tiered school district system is the wellness staff that are already on all the campuses are able to serve the tier 1 and tier 2 kiddos, and kids who have higher needs like tier 3 will come to us for more long-term ongoing care that includes the family. And those warm handoffs are everything.
Thank you for the presentation. Just kind of taking it all in and thinking about how fortunate we are to have a program like this as part of our school district is pretty amazing. It just makes me wonder, why it's not more common in other districts, around other areas. I mean, I think we all know and talk about how important our youth is and how much we want to be there for them. And support them. And these programs are exactly that. I mean, they kind of encapsulate all of that. The only thing that bothers me is just how, talking about the crisis, kind of skyrocketing, that worries me, having kids of my own, obviously, and thinking about, what we're doing as a society that's really, getting our kids to be in these positions. And I've been affected by things like this directly and within my family, and with suicide and people not having, resources and people to go to. So there's just not enough of support like this, you know what I mean? And it's really frustrating because I just feel like it's so important. And I just want to thank you guys for all your hard work. I think the rebranding is great because I think that making it sound more accessible to people, because people do kind of attribute names to, they specify names to kind of locks it in a little bit too much. So I think that was a great idea. I'm gonna have to call my buddy Martinine and ask him why he wasn't here tonight, because usually he's front and center with you guys. He's been a big advocate of the program since when he first joined the board. He was really stoked about hearing about what you guys do. So I can't say enough good things about you guys. I appreciate the presentation. I hope we could get it out there more to the community so that it's accessible for the kids and for the families. I wish there was something like this for me when I was younger, because I know I went through a lot of crap myself. So, thank you again. I could go on for a long time, but I appreciate the presentation and just kind of giving us a little bit more insight on what you guys do and giving the opportunity for people who are watching and here to be part of that. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for this, and especially the data points. I think it's really good to hear and see the reach and the success that we've had reaching these high need students. And it's just powerful to know that we have this organization as a resource. I remember when I first came on the board, I probably visited the center at the old location. Within my first 2 months on the board, and with my wife being a nurse, it was something that was really special to be able to walk around and actually understand the needs. And then going through, as I remember, going through the move to the current location and the fundraising needed for all of that. So it's been powerful to see the program really grow and thrive in this location. And this branding, man, this is really clean. I mean, even your deck with a logo in the top right corner, this just adds a whole nother level that I think we need for this to really reach the students that really need the help. So I'm just grateful to you and your team for the amazing work that you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I can only say thank you. I perhaps have had, I've been fortunate to always have been covered by someone's insurance, to always have access. And I'm glad that there is a place for everyone who hasn't had that benefit. It's weird. I want to say, oh, I'm happy I'm a part of it, but really I sit here and oversight, and everyone else does all the work. So it's happy to know about it, to have this intimate knowledge and to have people you can say, hey, I'm proud of you for providing this for our students.
Well, and you are a part of it by leading innovative thinking, right? This isn't usual. This doesn't exist everywhere. And your support, all of your support, and we send a bunch of stuff on your agenda all the time, right? And all of that is supporting the work.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Anya. So we are, so thank you. I do know, I do know about the health center because I get to meet with Anya on a regular basis and I attend the advisory board meetings, and I still don't know enough because they do a lot. And so we were talking earlier and, I invited Anya just to come and present to you. So once a year or more if you'd like, but once a year Anya will come and just give an update. And I agree with Andy that the data points are really important. For us to have an understanding of what happens, it's different than what's happening on the schools, and to understand that, the school, because we have a very robust wellness team at our schools, but they're tier 1 and 2. So understanding that is really helpful to us. And I will say that I was around for the rebranding, and oh my goodness, did it take a long time to get some traction? But once it did, it was great. Yeah, once it did. So thank you. And that was your leadership, and I appreciate that. I love the new branding, and I think that there's an energy that comes with it. So I'm really excited for that. And the health center has been under Anya's leadership has become, I'm looking over at Tina, they were not self-sustaining. The district was contributing, money every year to make sure that the health center could meet their obligations and move forward. And that is not the case. I don't think it's been the case for a few years, right? And so thank you, Anya, because, that's you are the leader there. So that says a lot. And I also want to thank her team for being here. And it's a long night, so thank you for remaining to support. Thank you. So thank you very much.
I do want to add one more thing. I think we're probably overdue to have our legislators actually come tour the facility, because I know that, for example, Assemblymember Berman does have a bill for student mental wellness. So I'm sure he would probably enjoy coming and touring. I know Assemblymember Stephanie also does a lot of work with mental wellness as well. So I think we could probably try and arrange for them to come tour, because I think it'd be powerful for them to see it.
We would love for that to happen. Absolutely. Thank you for that.
So maybe you can come more than once a year to update us,
As often
because,
as you'll have.
yeah,
What
you're
have
doing is
one more
important.
kind of question. So I haven't been to the Youth Point Health Center,
Ooh, so we know who's coming
but I
next.
also don't feel like I should barge in the front door and be like, look at you guys getting all your medical services. I think it's about it. So we can arrange a visit. We can. Okay.
So recently we had a new board member join, and she, as you know, board members kind of come through the superintendent. And so she said, can I go visit there? And I said, yes, of course. And I put them in contact, and they made an arrangement. We can certainly all go tour, but you guys, just like you would, they're another site.
Yep.
So just like the schools, you don't just barge into the schools and start going into classrooms, but we can.
A suggestion, perhaps we do actually an on-site board meeting at Youth Point Health one day.
We have a lovely conference
Add them
room.
into the rotation.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I mean, twist arm.
But this is how we welcome visitors, and we
Okay.
have kind of a home feel. So we will
perhaps we
absolutely
do
welcome you.
an after-school board meeting at Youth
Yes,
Point
we
Health.
can add that.
It'll part of our annual rotation.
That sounds great. All right.
This might be my fault. But before we go to that board meeting, let's finish this one.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anya.
Thanks, Anya.
Thank you.
Thank you. Education services, some number C1. Thank you, 14C1. It's a board update on a GPA weighting for college courses taken in high school. Deputy Superintendent of Education Services, Ms. Baca.
Good evening, President Walker. Good evening, members of the board. This evening, I will be providing updates on Administrative Regulation 5121, which pertains to the grades and evaluation of student achievement. Specifically, I will address the grade point average weighting, often referred to as grade bump. And this is for dual enrollment and concurrent enrollment class courses. So just as a reminder, administrative regulations usually do not require board approval. However, I feel like this is an important topic to share and bring to your attention, as they are linked to issues of equity, access, and the expansion of opportunities for our students. So the purpose of the presentation is to provide you with the administrative language changes in the weighting of dual and concurrent enrollment courses. Today's agenda includes reviewing the current board policy, an overview of dual enrollment, gathered feedback, and revisions to the AR regarding grade weighting. So in March, Dr. Robinson and I convened a board policy working group to review board policies and administrative regulations related to curriculum and instruction, particularly topics that may generate questions or differing perspectives. The working group includes 14 members representing certificated staff, classified staff, and administrators across the district. The group reviews recommendations from the California School Boards Association, examines the current district practices, and discusses potential revisions based on district needs and educational partner feedback. So as part of the process, draft language is shared with a broader group of educational partners to gather additional input, and before any revisions are brought forward to you, we would like to make sure that we get enough feedback. So the group plans to review several curriculum and instruction-related topics, including artificial intelligence, homework, recognition of religious beliefs and customs, alternative credits for graduation, and physical education. But as a starting point, the group focused on grade weighting for dual enrollment courses because of its potential impact on planning for next year's master's schedule. So before discussing the administrative regulation language, the group also spent some time identifying three lenses that we wanted to use throughout the work. The conversation centered on three key areas. So the context and assumption we each bring into the policy discussion, the impact proposed changes may have on our most vulnerable and underserved students, and how to communicate the changes in a way that is clear and easy to understand. So our goal is to ensure that any proposed revisions are thoughtful, equitable, and practical to implement, while also being clear and accessible for students, families, and staff. So now let's review the current language. On this slide, you will see part of Board Policy 5121 that states that the superintendent or designee shall determine whether extra grade weighting shall be applied to advanced placement, international baccalaureate, honors, and/or concurrent post-secondary courses. So in other words, our current board policy already allows the district to provide additional grade weighting for these types of rigorous courses. However, when we look at the current administrative regulation language, it only specifically identifies advanced placement and honors courses for weighted grades. So what this means in practice is that a student who earns an A in an AP course receives 5 points instead of the traditional 4 points. This GPA bump is the reason why some students have a GPA of over 4.0. So before we dive in, I'd like to share some definition of terms. So grade point average is the numerical calculation of a student's overall academic performance. So typically an A is worth 4 points, a B is worth 3 points, and so on and so forth. And when a course receives GPA weighting or a GPA bump, an additional point is added to the grade value. Advanced placement or AP courses are college-level courses sponsored by the College Board. Students may earn college credit only if they pass the AP exam, typically with a score of 3 or higher. And some colleges actually require at least a 4. So at JUHSD, AP courses currently receive GPA weighting. International Baccalaureate, or IB, is an internationally recognized college-level academic program, and JUHSD does not currently offer an IB program. Honors courses are advanced high school level courses that also receives a grade bump, but these courses are no longer offered at JUHSD to minimize additional tracking of students. Concurrent enrollment and dual enrollment are both college-level courses, and sometimes the terms are used interchangeably. But within the San Mateo County Community College District, concurrent enrollment means that the courses are taken at the college campus. Students earn both high school and college credit when they successfully complete a course with a grade of C or higher. Dual enrollment, however, it is very similar, but the courses are taken here at one of our campuses. So on this slide, you will see the current course offerings across JUHSD with advanced placement listed on the left. And on the right are the dual enrollment courses currently offered across the district. These courses allow students to earn both high school and college credit at the same time. And most of these courses are offered through our partnership with Skyline College. These courses are taken at the JUHSD campuses during the school day, and most of these classes are taught by our own teachers. And as you can see, most of these dual enrollment courses are UC-CSU transferable. So one assumption that I sometimes hear is that dual enrollment courses are not as rigorous as AP courses. However, the requirements to teach a dual enrollment course are actually quite rigorous. First, dual enrollment teachers must meet the community college minimum qualifications, which generally means holding a master's degree in the subject area or meeting an approved equivalency process. Second, instructors must follow the approved college curriculum and course outline. In addition, dual enrollment instructors are evaluated by college personnel. The evaluation process includes orientation and onboarding, classroom observations, submission of student course materials and portfolios, self-assessments, student surveys, and then a final evaluation process through the college. These requirements help ensure that dual enrollment courses maintain college level expectations and rigor. For AP courses, the eligibility requirements to teach are a bit different. To teach an AP course, the instructor must hold the appropriate teaching credential, submit an AP course audit from an approved by an administrator, and then submit a course syllabus for College Board for approval. So while not required, attending AP training is highly recommended for instructors to teach these courses. So one of the key questions we considered during the process was who has access to these opportunities. This slide compares the enrollment data for AP and dual enrollment courses across our student groups. So the table on the left shows AP course access for the 25-26 school year. The first column lists the student groups. The second column shows the number of students enrolled in at least one AP course. The third column shows the total enrollment for students in grades 10 through 12 attending one of our 4 comprehensive high schools. I excluded 9th grade because AP courses are typically offered 10th grade and beyond. And the last column shows the percentage of students enrolled in at least one AP course. So as an example, 29% of our African American students are enrolled in at least one AP course. Give you a couple of minutes to look at that. And then I would like to point out the last 2 rows that highlight our students learning English and students with disabilities. So for AP courses, only 4% of students learning English and 5% of students with disabilities are enrolled in at least one AP class. Now let's look at the table on the right that shows the dual enrollment for this year. This data includes all grade levels because all students can participate in dual enrollment courses, grades 9 through 12. So using the same example, 37% of our African American students are enrolled in at least one dual enrollment course. Now let's look again at the bottom 2 rows. So for dual enrollment, 23% of our students learning English and 19% of our students with disabilities are participating in at least one dual enrollment course, much higher than the AP enrollment. So this is one of the reasons this conversation became an equity discussion for the working group. We have significantly more students learning English than students with disabilities accessing rigorous college level coursework through dual enrollment. Yet those same students are currently unable to receive the GPA bump that is available through AP courses. In many ways, dual enrollment has become a more accessible pathway for these student groups to engage in college-level learning, but the current GPA weighting structure does not recognize that rigor in the same way. So after reviewing this data and discussing the issue, the board policy working group generally agreed that dual enrollment courses should receive a GPA bump similar to AP courses. One of their main concerns raised was it was about concurrent enrollment. The concern was that students with greater financial resource, transportation access, or scheduling flexibility might be able to take a large number of community college courses outside of the school day, which could potentially widen the GPA gaps among students. So that concern was taken into consideration and was addressed in the revised language that I will review in the next slide. Following the working group discussion, I sent out a survey to students, staff, and parents to gather additional feedback. We received 27 responses, and overall 78% supported the revisions. 15% supported the revisions but had some reservations, and 7% did not support the revisions. So the ones who agreed but had reservations were primarily concerned about students who may take advantage of concurrent enrollment opportunities to significantly increase their GPAs. Additionally, there was also concern from a few staff members who thinks that AP courses will be eliminated and be replaced by dual enrollment courses. They're concerned because these people really love teaching AP courses and they would like to be able to continue to do so. So the responses from those who disagreed with the revisions were largely connected to concerns about rigor and access. Some respondents believed dual enrollment courses were less rigorous than AP courses, while others thought that students would have to go to the college campus in order to receive these credits, which would create barriers for some students. So I do think that some of those concerns reflect some type of misunderstanding on what dual enrollment is here at JUHSD. So overall, after reviewing the feedback and considering the discussion from the working group, I feel comfortable with the revised language that I will share. So the revised language now clearly defines both dual enrollment and concurrent enrollment, so it separates it, but both types of courses will be eligible to receive a GPA bump. One important distinction is that there would be no limit on the number of dual enrollment courses that a student can receive a grade bump for. And the reasoning behind this is that these courses are offered on our campuses during the school day, making them more accessible to a broader range of students. For concurrent enrollment, however, the revised language does place a limit on how many courses can receive a GPA bump. This was added in response to concerns raised through the working group discussions and the survey feedback related to equity and access. In addition, school counselor approval would be required for concurrent enrollment courses receiving a GPA bump. Overall, these revisions are intended to recognize the rigor of the college level work while also balancing fairness, access, and thoughtful implementation. The updated language helps expand opportunities for students to earn weighted credit through multiple pathways while maintaining safeguards that address the concerns shared throughout this process. And that is it. Thank you, and I welcome any questions.
Thank you very much. Anyone have questions?
Just one question. It was in the, I think it was slide 10, where, first of all, thank you for the presentation. Learned a lot, actually, just listening to you like I always do. But let's see, it said there was some concerns. Was it that one? Yeah. Oh, about declining AP course offerings or about concurrent enrollment courses or taking, I guess, multiple AP courses and concurrent courses for overinflated GPA. Mm-hmm. I don't know, was the language you used in that last slide, did that address any of those issues specifically? Like, I guess the concern about the AP courses being overtaken by the...
Okay, so I'll start with that.
Yeah.
There is no plan to remove AP courses.
Yeah.
And it's actually much harder to find dual enrollment teachers because they have to have their master's degree.
Okay.
So it's very unlikely that we will be replacing AP courses with dual enrollment courses. I think they should go side by side. so that there's multiple pathways. And right now, our dual enrollment courses are mostly offered through the CTE pathway, our career technical education pathway. And our vision and hope is that we can choose a class maybe or two to offer as a dual enrollment course to kind of assist the student in potentially getting their AA before they leave high school. So maybe their AP calculus class could be converted into a dual enrollment class, and then maybe, a chemistry class, so that it's guaranteed that they would have those college credits already even before leaving high school.
And you still get the grade bump with it, so that's cool.
Yes.
I like that. Okay.
This makes a lot of sense. I think the language of the revised language is spot on. And especially that maximum of 40 college semester units, really, that cap, I think, will prevent the overzealous from occurring. But I appreciate the equity mindset very specifically because the data really bears it out. And even when you look at the Hispanic students, it's a little bit a higher percentage of them, 4% higher, 10% more on Pacific Islander kids in dual enrollment. So this really makes sense that we would want to do this. So I'm actually kind of surprised we haven't done it before. So I'm grateful that we're doing it now. So this doesn't require a board approval. This is just you letting us know.
Information.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I'm certainly in favor.
Thank you.
At some point, it will require board approval?
No,
No.
it's an
They are. Okay, got
administrative
it.
regulation.
So separate from the GPA portion, is there some type of metric where we measure the effect of AP courses or dual enrollment courses or concurrent enrollment courses? Not even necessarily against each other, just what they're doing for our students, what kind of opportunities they give them, or?
What we could measure is who gets college credits from it.
Okay.
That's all I could think of right now, but I'll definitely think more about that.
Well, it will also come itself out in the A through G rates as
It
well.
will help us and the college and career indicator as well in the dashboard, because they do count, they separate AP from dual enrollment.
And you did say that a high school student could possibly get an AA before leaving high school. That's
Or
pretty cool.
very, very close.
That's pretty cool.
And I think you probably are able to answer this in a sentence or two. Is there a reason that this conversation does not include middle college?
Middle college is something completely different. So middle college is after 10th grade, students actually go to the college themselves, and there are a little cohort, and they do earn both. Because of this language, they would get a bump up as well in GPA, if that's what you're asking.
Oh, it's not excluded. Okay, thanks.
Ms. Preston?
Yeah, I know. I'm looking puzzled because we didn't have the middle college conversation. So I want to, that wasn't what I was going to say, but that's a whole different discussion actually, because that's a whole different program. So every single class that they're going to take at college is going to have a grade bump, but they can only get 40 semester units of that grade bump. And then the rest of them wouldn't. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, the only thing that I was going to say, I, of course, know about this and I'm very supportive of us doing this. The one thing that I hadn't thought of prior to tonight, though, is the prior written approval from school counselors before enrolling. I'm always, cautious about adults not allowing students to do something that they might be capable of doing. So I just want us to maybe look at that and what goes into that prior written approval? Because that worries me a little bit, actually. I understand you were addressing concerns, but that line, yeah.
Right now, as part of the application for colleges, they actually do need to get a school counselor signature or an administrator signature. So that's the college process. But this one, I really want to call it out so that we can really track who is requesting what. In the other policy that we will be working on, it is for grades earned outside of our courses or our school. We will actually look at the process on how this is approved and tracking all of this. So there is a second part of this, but it is a different board policy.
So one question is, so the college is requiring that okay, and then what are they just have to approve it, or is there a guideline? That's what I'm concerned about. What are the guidelines? So it's just their grades in other classes?
Almost everybody's, if they want to take a concurrent enrollment course, is approved.
So it's just
then
subjective.
They have been approved.
I mean, it's just subjective, though. There's no GPA requirement, or it's just subjective if the counselor approves it. I just want to know more about that. Okay. It feels like it shouldn't be subjective. I'd like it not to be subjective, but anyway.
In my experience, like coming from a counselor, any student that wanted to sign up for a concurrent enrollment class was approved.
I'm happy to hear that. Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Ms. Baca.
Thank you.
This looks like 14B2. No? My scrolling is off. Thank you. 14D1 is a first read, discussion, board policy updates, board policy 5142. Boy, that's confusing, right? About safety. And safety sounds like something we'll hear from Ms. Basuino.
Good evening. This policy is being updated to add language to regularly review guidance regarding cybersecurity and digital media awareness for the protection of the district's network infrastructure.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? 14D2, first read discussion of board policy update 5144.1 regarding suspension and expulsion due process. Ms. Basuino.
This policy is being updated to include school-related off-campus activities, establishing a rehabilitation plan for expelled students, and maintaining and monitoring of student data.
Seeing no discussion. 14D3, board policy update 5145.6, parent guardian notifications.
This policy is being updated to ensure that the district provide alternative formats for qualified individuals so they can effectively participate in any program, service, or activity as required by law.
Stop me if you need to. 14D4, board policy 6173, education for homeless children.
This policy is updated, just some very minor changes in language.
Do we have to keep the name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, for some reason.
Item 15, action items, public hearings. 15A1 is the approval of Youth Point Health Drug Medi-Cal application. Ms. Shapiro.
Yes, so I alluded to this a little bit earlier. As part of our Inspire program, we are applying for Drug Medi-Cal to be able to provide mild to moderate substance use treatment services to students who need more than just brief intervention. We are pursuing this because we've noticed the need through our brief intervention program. Students kept returning voluntarily and they wanted to have further sessions. We've also been asked by the county to pursue this. And as part of the DMC application, there's a requirement that the governing board is in full support and agreement with the application.
Move to approve.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. 15A2 is Resolution 2025-26, number 16, resolution calling an election for governing board members. Ms. Presta.
Thank you. For the November 3rd, 2026 election, the board's going to call for the election of 3 governing board members to a 4-year term and 1 governing board member to a short term of 2 years. I recommend that the board adopt this resolution calling for an election for governing board members to be held on November 3rd, 2026.
Kind of an important thing. So moved.
Second.
All in favor of approving Resolution 2025-26, 16?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 15B, Resolution 2025-26, number 15, the Maintenance Assessment District intent to continue assessment and engineers report approval. Ms. Van Raphorst.
Thank you, President Walker. Tonight, I bring you a recommendation to approve this resolution, which will do 3 things. It will provide preliminary approval of the engineer's report for the Maintenance and Assessment District, declare the board's intention to continue to levy assessments for the 26-27 year, and provide the notice of a public hearing that will be held on June 2nd regarding these assessments. The Maintenance and Assessment District provides about $360,000 annually to the school district each year for maintaining facilities.
Thank you.
Move to approve Resolution 25-26/15 for the Maintenance Assessment District.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Not hearing any future agenda items, we shall entertain a motion
To go back to closed session. So moved.
Well done.
So moved.
All in favor of adjourning to closed session?
Aye.
Aye.